Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's time. Let's get started.
All right. So thank you all for that. Good morning, good evening, maybe even good afternoon to some of you. It's been my privilege on behalf of Demand Farm to host this webinar today, wherein we're talking about how smart tools can help in managing strategic accounts or key accounts. And I'm very excited that I'm joined by Trevor Hardee, Senior Business Director of Customer Success at Royal Ambulance. The reason I'm excited is not just because he's a customer of ours, but I have been closely seeing the kind of progress and the way they have managed their strategic account management processes to tools to where they're today and over last 2 years. That is what makes me more exciting as well. And then, so thank you, Trevor, for joining us. We'll talk about Trevor a little bit more as we go. So quick hygiene announcements. You can obviously raise your hand, ask questions. They'll be taken up at the end of the webinar. There's some of the polls that we'll do during the webinar as well. And yeah, that's a quick hygiene. And of course, we will be sending the recording and everything to you guys once the webinar is over. So uh, just a quick thing in terms of what do we expect today in the next 30 minutes or so. Basically, the way we've structured this is we would like to take a successful key account management or strategic account management process being conceived, executed, and giving some results now. I know key account management itself is a journey, it never ends. There's been a beginning made. And then, so what we want to do is we will ask Trevor those difficult questions of helping us take us through this process in terms of what is their company, who their key accounts are, how did they implement, what are the challenges, what are the tools that they use, and then what has been the impact so far, right? So that's kind of a agenda, if I may say so, for this webinar. So with that, let me ask Trevor. Hey, good morning, Trevor. Thank you for being here again. Just want you to help us understand what Royal Ambulance is.
Great. Thank you for that, Milind. And it's great to join you here this morning. So Royal Ambulance is a medical transportation provider, and we've been serving the San Francisco Bay Area for the last 15 years. We've evolved from initially being an ambulance service to now where we strive to connect patients and providers in the healthcare continuum through transportation, technology, and seamless experiences.
Okay, cool. I mean, so I guess, yeah, we were talking to Trevor, and we realized that he's been kept very busy. He's trying to restart the hospitals so that the patients start coming, which were non-COVID as well. So he's been quite busy. So now, what I want to understand a bit, Trevor, is like, who are your key accounts and how do you manage them? We want to understand, like, how do you define your key accounts? Who are they?
Right. So our strategic accounts include hospitals and health systems where we provide an end-to-end transportation ecosystem where they can safely and easily move patients to and from healthcare settings through rideshare, wheelchair, basic life support ambulance, as well as critical and specialty care transports. We provide multiple service lines that are utilized through multiple stakeholder groups, each requiring their own engagement up and down the org chart. So we do a discovery through process analysis and stakeholder interviews to identify those ideal state workflows. We do data review to identify trends and further opportunities, as well as ongoing executive level engagement to review performance and align on strategic initiatives for our partnership and their organization at large.
Yeah, so it's quite tricky, isn't it, when hospitals are your key accounts and they would have multiple locations and then multiple functions and departments that your service lines cut across, and and then most of the times these are emergency critical care. So key accounts mean a lot more to you than, say, somebody's key account being a manufacturing company or something like that. So I understand that, Trevor.
Right,
So
and each of those buying centers have their own unique needs that are changing all the time. So adapting consistently to meet those.
yeah, yeah, right, right. So what I wanted to do is I want to ask Trevor as to what were the challenges related to strategic account and their management. So while Trevor is doing that, can I ask the coordinator to run a? We want to ask you guys, the participants as well. This, uh, 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 Samrat, you want to run the poll now, or you want to wait for some more attendees to come in and then run it later?
Let's wait for a few more attendees. We
All
can
right.
ask them a bit later.
In the meanwhile, Trevor, would you be able to help us with with what are the challenges that you faced when it comes to strategic accounts and, of course, their managers?
Yeah, so some of the challenges that we've encountered with strategic accounts and their management is the visualization and big picture approach to how we manage their business. With many lines of service across several buying centers, it can be hard to focus on anything other than what's right in front of you at that particular moment. But when you're able to zoom out and uh, keep those big picture objectives at the forefront of your mind, we're able to stop acting reactively to put out fires and do more strategic work that will help advance the account plans that we've set forth. And using DemandFarm has helped us organize those deeper insights into our customers, which in turn allows us to act more strategically instead of tactical.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, at Demand Farm, Trevor, so we do come across similar challenges and then some of them more. So what we've seen is there is uh, most of the systems today, especially in a way, is there is contact management, lead management, and there's opportunity management, and then there is account management, right?
Mhm,
So in B2B company like yours and many others, uh, these few dozen accounts is where 80-90% of the revenue actually is generated.
mhm.
And there is a so uh, these accounts require, as you said, zooming and then looking at them in much more detail than what it is, and then moving from a very tactical to strategic relationships which are long run in things. So Samrat, you want to
Yeah,
so
yeah. So the folks, the poll is live. Do let us know about all the challenges that you're facing in key account management. We'd love to solve them. Do let us know. Our subject matters here are right there on the call. So do let us know. Okay.
Sure. So we've just run a poll wherein we want to know your challenges, right? Uh, in terms of the key account management and this process. So, okay, moving on. So this is where the whole crux of the webinar typically is. So we wanted to know from Trevor as to what were those processes or the tools that they started off with um, in order to tackle some of these challenges that were outlined in terms of understanding the account better, creating a continuous, seamless account plans, and then adding a lot more value to the strategic accounts. So, what are the tools, Trevor, if you help us understand that you used?
Yeah, first and foremost, I think one of the best tools and processes that we've implemented is account planning. So really understanding who the customer is and who we are to them. I see it as an opportunity to objectively look at how an account is performing and plan on how we will develop the account further to drive mutual value for our organizations. And then at the click of the button, being able to do an account review within Salesforce that's driven by data internally with our team. Some of the other processes that we've implemented, so quarterly business reviews. So getting our stakeholders in the room together to share business insights and identify those trends that guide our strategic planning for future initiatives. Within DemandFarm itself, there's a tool called Landscape. So per account, we're looking at what business development opportunities are available for existing or new service lines in each of our hospital partners buying centers.
Hmm. Hmm.
And another big one for us has been the org chart development. And
Yeah.
so knowing who we're connected to in the organization and where our gaps in engagement are, which paints us a clear picture of the current state and where we have opportunities. We have a visualization of the stakeholder sentiment, which we've directly integrated with our voice of the customer platform through Qualtrics, so we can see who they influence and who reports to who, which is a great way to map out your sales planning strategy.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so it's like I was almost smiling, Trevor, when you're talking about that. So I've been a key account manager for quite some time, and then imagine if somebody gave me a tool inside my CRM. We've all built org charts, isn't it? So that's one thing that all named accounts or large account managers do, but it's very hard. So if somebody gave me a tool to nicely drag and drop and then build an org chart, know the heat map, know the influences, the power centers, the budget that they control, who do we have opportunities with. I mean, I know that that tool is very, very helpful. You also did talk about when we mean looking at our account a lot more deeply, at least the strategic account deeply, in terms of, in your case, all the buying centers are hospitals and different centers. And then obviously you have more than one product and service. A simple, that 2x2 matrix, if there's a tool which kind of gives me that kind of a view of my account, then it becomes so much more easier for us to look at where are we selling today, where are my cross-sell and upsell opportunities, and then how are my relationships and so on. So and nothing like I think you really touched about the QBR. I have heard a lot of account managers. Uh, um, I don't know, for some reason all the QBRs are Monday morning 9 a.m., isn't it? So everybody spends their Sunday in making their presentation about their accounts. So now if there's a click of a button that actually gives me a account review PDF or a PPT, I mean, my Sunday is spent more with my daughter and dogs. So yeah, so I think for you participants, I'm just kind of uh, reiterating some of the tools that we talked about. For example, this is the landscape. This is obviously a QBR, account review. I mean, tracking where firstly creating a plan, tracking where my plan is at click of a button, uh, and then knowing my account better. And these are the four tools that Trevor uses extensively in his organization to know their account, plan their account, and then govern and track and review the accounts that they have. Right. So thanks, Trevor, for that. Um, so something very interesting. This is what I really wanted to. I have seen Trevor work very hard on this, and I'm sure the reality is a lot of us actually come from different functions and streams into strategic account management. Right? So somebody can come from sales, somebody can come from being a developer or sales operations, technical background, right? CRM administrators also do end up coming into sales operations, strategic account management. People can come from domains. So being an expert in healthcare or being an expert in financial services or so people come from functional expertise. All types of people after a while actually jump into strategic account management. And so how do you equip yourself? What are those resources? How do you become better at strategic account management? Since Trevor, you've done that, I guess our participants will really like to know. They could be where you were 5 years ago, maybe, or 4 years ago, right? So that's something that I wanted to ask you, Trevor.
Yeah, thanks for that. I came from a clinical background in the healthcare setting, working at Royal Ambulance as an emergency medical technician. And then after becoming sick with an autoimmune disease, I ended up in an administrative role, focusing on process improvement. And much of that work was focused externally with our customers, where we began to see a lot of value in providing a high touch account management piece to our hospital partners. And I learned my strategic account management framework and best practices from the Strategic Account Management Association's courses, which helped me obtain my CSAM designation.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, Sama is a great place. We've learned a lot from Sama. We learn their frameworks. We learn a lot from there as well. We have a pretty good association with them too, and they run online, offline courses for beginner to experts in terms of getting better at SAM or CAM, right? Yeah. So the if I Samrat, do you want to publish the results? Let me know.
Sure, Milind. So, as the poll goes on, maximum people are facing challenges in bringing in scale and standardization of the account
Is
plans.
there a way for you to publish it? There
Yeah,
is.
I can. So, should I end the poll right now, or should we wait for a bit more till the end of the presentation?
Um, Up to you.
I think let's wait for a bit more.
All right.
People,
All right. Okay. You want to maintain that suspense for whatever reasons.
yeah.
Okay. Sure. So, so moving on with what we're trying to do. Mm, Now, I know you did choose us for your tools, but I'm sure a lot of us here. How did you go about doing it, and what are the critical um, factors that decide in choosing and implementing tools, right? So, would like to understand from you what do you look in a tool or a vendor while choosing something that could help our participants in terms of their pursuit as well.
Got it. I believe that a company should look out for tools that are easy and valuable for their team to use. Engage your staff early on and conduct user testing through demos to find out what will work best from the people who will be using the software in their everyday work. On the more technical side, we found it important to have a tool which is native to our Salesforce and sits on top of our existing customer relationship management system. And with this setup, we're able to create those simple living and breathing account plans that reside directly inside of Salesforce. And what's been helpful for us is having a great customer success team on DemandFarm side to help us with the integration and ongoing support.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I guess ease of use is important. Salespeople are already loaded with too many tools. They don't want another one which is going to take a lot of their time. We want something which is more of visual, easy to use, understand, and then so on. And native to CRM, I have found that to be very, very useful. I mean, again, salespeople don't want to log into two different systems, right? You want to log into your core CRM, which could be Salesforce, and within that, you want to create your account plans, and that's important. Simplicity, yeah, spot on, Trevor. Thanks.
Yeah, just one password to remember.
Yeah, yeah. So, in the meanwhile, Samrat has published the results. Looks like almost everything is important except for enhancing the visibility and then access of account plans at the leadership level. So I think they're all around the same 24, 29, 18. And I don't know if participants can see this results.
Yeah, attendees can view these results.
Okay, cool. So basically, what we're seeing is when it comes to account management and account planning, we have today. Whenever I speak to a lot of our prospects, it looks like they have their opportunities and contacts in a CRM. They will have an Excel sheet financials. They will have PowerPoint templates to create their account plans. Too tough. That is, it's not only cumbersome for the account manager, it's very hard for the leaders and sales guys, sales ops to collate. I mean, 200 account plans put together doesn't tell me anything, right? If you create an account plans inside, and if they're living and breathing account plans inside CRM, then it means a lot, right? So also, it is very hard. I have seen a lot of companies spend lots of dollars, millions in fact, on say on many methodologies, and which are beautiful methodologies. For example, from McKinsey to Bain to Miller Hyman to whole lot of processes that they will invest in, and then how do you institutionalize it? How do you scale it? And that's another challenge that I've seen companies face when it comes to account planning and management. The aggregated data, I guess 18% of the people have talked about it, and 24% have said that, okay, we would like to obviously improve our cross-sell and upsell within our existing key accounts. So it's kind of equal. 29% is scale and standardization, which is usually a sales operations problem, right? And eliminating the clutter of Excel sheets. 24% is cross sell and upsell, which I'm sure is the account managers who might have voted for this. Leveraging the aggregated planning for improving business planning, I'm sure some of the leaders would have voted for it at 18%. So great poll. Thank you all for participating in this. Really resonates whole lot of things that we've been thinking and advocating over a period of time in terms of challenges. So thank you for reiterating that, and then it'll only make us create more tools to solve those challenges for you guys. So moving on, what I'd like to do is, like, a whole lot of stuff that, so we talked about the challenges, we talked about the tools being used, so end of the day, what was the impact? So I know that an initiative like this or a program like this, which is a comprehensive SAM program, and the tool usage is a long-term plan. But in a year or year and a half, Trevor, what is it that you have seen so far, and what is it that you expect in future as well?
Yeah, and it really is a journey, and as it continues on, I think the biggest impact of implementing our strategic account management program at Royal Ambulance has been to see long-lasting business relationships stick and grow with a foundation of trust, partnership, and innovation. We work in the highly complex and dynamic environment of healthcare, where we need to remain adaptable and engaging to stay ahead of our competition and help our customers win. And the technology tools that we use have helped our team gather insights from data about our customers' behavior to our performance, as well as plan and strategize around growth and expansion as a trusted advisor to our clients and an extension of their brand. And the tools have helped Royal Ambulance with really institutionalizing that strategic account management process and ensure the continuity within our system.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Trevor. So while guys, a lot of here, like all of this seem like a soft impact. A lot of people do ask me, okay, can you give me a dollar impact on this? And then what's the ROI? I mean, yes, I mean, there's a way to define it, but to me, the qualitative impact about a SAM program is very hard to achieve. And it is very easy to really look at the quantitative calculation of it. There are multiple ways. How much did your key account revenue grow by? How much did your productivity hours saved? But the reality is the institutionalizing continuity has far more value than those few dollars saved or few dollars made in that year. It has a much higher impact over a period of time. I mean, that's something that I would like to talk to our participants on that. So therefore, Trevor, thank you for sharing some of these things. Eventually, a good SAM process or a good tool should eventually lead to long-lasting business relationships, isn't it? And that will in turn give us monetary benefits for sure, right? I mean, counting the pennies now, I don't think is a good idea. Getting into the process, getting the qualitative aspect out as an impact is far more important, if you ask me. So, so this is this kind of a summary slide for us. And before that, I would like to help Samrat. Samrat, can you? What are the questions? So we have 5 minutes before I conclude on this. In the last minute, I would like to take up some questions. I'm pretty good on time.
So we have a pretty interesting question from Jason about how do we manage these kind of key accounts, especially in a scenario like the COVID scenario that we're facing right now. What should be the strategy of key account management around this time?
So, I mean, okay, I don't know the background in terms of what business Jason is in, but I mean, not only key accounts, I guess almost every business process has evolved differently in these COVID times. I think one of the key things for us is making our collaboration far more powerful than what it is today. How do we both the account team inside my organization and people at the customer side, how can we on the same page while being remotely?
Okay, so Jason has provided some more input on this question. He's asking about penetrating new clients, not the existing clients.
Okay. Um, I'm, I'm not too sure. Penetrating new clients is kind of a is something that I would rather want to comment because that's not my expertise. That's not our tool does. Um, uh, but let me hazard a guess. So see, I guess the core of any sales process is still the value, and if the value is delivered, if the value can be delivered only via physical means, yes, then there's a problem. But if there is any way in which you can still show the value to your client in whatever time frames that we are in, I guess. But I know it's tough. I mean, it's been tough for us to acquire new customers in these times. um, Few things for us is, can we instill that kind of a confidence in them, in the new prospect? It's very hard for me to answer that without the context, and
Yeah,
especially the non-strategic account management question. So can we?
that's right. So, but yeah, so Jason here has a question.
Yeah,
So, what if a company doesn't use Salesforce? Suppose James actually. So James is saying they use HubSpot. So what can we do for them?
sure. Okay. No, so as far as demand farm is concerned, okay, we have products for whichever platform allow us to build native apps like Dynamics and Salesforce. We have native apps. Like very recently, HubSpot also started with their marketplace. We would soon be building our tools over there, but until then, we have a product which is standalone with the connector to HubSpot.
Cool, cool. So we have a few more questions flying in. So does our tool adapt with the existing account planning processes? How flexible is our KM methodology?
Sure, sure. Yeah, I think we are one of those tools who are methodology agnostic. We are very, very flexible in order to configure the methodology that the client might have already. Although our product comes with a certain flow, but it's more like a framework which is very easy to configure to anybody's methodology. We have customers, as I said, who have invested in McKinsey, who have invested in Miller Hyman, who have invested in. So we are able to implement their methodology in our tools very easily. That's how the tools are built actually. That's one of the core things, because we understand that different companies would have different methodology.
Okay, yeah. So for some reason people are shooting their questions into the chat section. I don't know why not in the Q&A section, but we have one more question on the framework, that the thing that you talked about. Is it framework based? Is it process based? How is it like?
Ooh,
So
yeah, it's my favorite question. I usually take a lot of time to answer. Yeah, it is framework based. See, for us, as I say, key account management is as much a person dependent process. Even today, account manager is important. It is their domain knowledge. Like for example, Trevor here, Trevor's understanding of healthcare is so important in being a key account manager, right? So if I tell Trevor a key account management process which is very straight jacketed, I'm sure they wouldn't like it. So the idea is to give a very loose framework while keeping the human element of the process intact, giving them a tools to to um, to manage their account. So the analogy that I always give is, we don't want the account management to become a robot. We don't want the account manager to become a Superman either. So what we do is, the way we work at the demand from the tools for us work like an Iron Man. So we equip the account manager with the tools so that the account manager now becomes the Iron Man. But the account manager is very important for us. Therefore, it's frameworks, not a fixed process. Process is defined by the clients, and what we have is frameworks.
and we have a pretty important question now on the security of the data.
Yeah.
So, how about the data that is entered into the demand forms KM tools? Does that ever leave Salesforce?
No, it never. Because we're a native app, that's the key thing for us. So we are native application to Salesforce, which means the data, the application itself, including the data, would reside inside Salesforce Cloud, complying to the entire security measures of Salesforce itself. We have a revenue share arrangement with them so that this is possible. And and they keep doing security review in spite of that of our app every 3 months and as part of the process. So this is a very tight partnership with Salesforce and Dynamics so that as long as it's native app, the data resides inside Salesforce, and all the authentication, the security, access control is actually governed by your Salesforce rules, not by DemandFarm's rules.
Cool. Nitin here has another question. How to identify areas for strategic tie-ups? What is the core in understanding this kind of a concept?
Strategic tie-ups. Again, in what context? I don't know. I'm not able to.
Nitin, can you just provide some more context, then we'll be able to answer it better. And yeah, I think that concludes for all of the questions. I'll notify everyone if you have some more good questions coming up. So actually, we have one more transport. So transport and logistics in fintech. Does our tool cover this industry? How can this help me help them as a junior account manager for to track and forecast the leads for possible opportunities?
Sorry, I didn't get that very well. Can you say that?
So here's a question from the fintech space for the transport and logistics sector. So does our tool cover this kind of an industry, this side of the business of the industry? So
Yeah.
how can this help someone as a junior account manager track and forecast their leads for possible opportunities?
Mm,
I would say there that the tool is really applicable to almost every industry. You know, I think that our organization in particular is fairly a unique case study in DemandFarm's clientele. And it depends on really what the design of your strategic account management process is, but I believe it is applicable to almost every industry where you can identify the key stakeholders who are the decision makers, the influencers, who has the funding for your new opportunities, and gives you the ability to track and manage what that looks like across all the buying centers. If you're working in fintech, transportation, and logistics, you have one of your customers where you need to understand who is who in the organization, who makes those decisions, really sizing up the opportunity. So how much revenue is possible through this opportunity, and being able to track the progress and stages through that, as well as plan specific action items related to that. So what is your 30, 60, 90-day plan for engaging to make sure that you can close out that opportunity and win that new business?
yeah. Thank you so much, Trevor, for that. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that was a pretty comprehensive answer for. So it doesn't really depend on the industry. We're agnostic to every industry. We can serve every possible industry as soon as we want people want to improve their KM methodologies. And that concludes all the questions. So let's continue with the discussion.
Sure. No, I mean, I just want to conclude. Hey, Trevor, I also want to see if some of the questions you want to add. Sorry, I forgot about it. So, do you want to
Yeah.
your comments on some of those questions before I move on?
Yeah, I could comment a little bit on how the tool can help with or how things have changed with COVID. So for
Yeah.
us, a lot of our engagements were in person and very high touch with a lot of the stakeholders. And one of the things that COVID has changed about that is we're not able to just walk into a hospital now to meet with who we usually do. And so largely it has moved to an inside sales system where it's all video calls and phone calls, but that really doesn't change the process of how we go about managing our existing clients, or as well as penetrating those new clients. What Milind said really resonated with me was that it all comes back to the value that you can provide to the customer. It's what can you do for them, and really understanding their world and the big picture objectives that they're dealing with, and figuring out how your tool applies to that to help them achieve what they're trying to achieve with their initiatives.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're the best guy to answer that because you're still able to provide value to your strategic accounts even in these times, and then
Mhm.
continuing with them. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and more so, they're really looking for that engagement to really know that they're being understood and that you get their business. And really, what you can do most is just show up for them. with a very personal approach, being empathetic, understanding. And one of the most important things, especially in these times, is being able to consistently close that feedback loop. And so providing prompt responses to them, making sure that if they have any issues, getting them resolved, and that they can maintain their operation with you supporting them.
Yeah, yeah. Sure. So I think we've taken a couple of more minutes than what we had scheduled for. I think so. What I can do is I will try and kind of conclude and then have Trevor do the final remarks. So basically, what we are saying is your CRM, then DemandFarm can extend your CRM to move from opportunity management to account management while being inside your CRM. It could be Salesforce, Dynamics, or any other. So the idea is to make account management easy and at the same time very effective. So like software tools have impacted almost all the functions from accounting to sales to marketing, and now the time has come for tools to impact even the key account management process. So that is the with that thought, I would like to conclude, and then I'd like to make Trevor some closing remarks.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to the DemandFarm team for allowing me to join you guys today. It was really fun to talk about Royal Ambulance and how we're utilizing the tool in our strategic account management processes. And thank you to everyone who joined us today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or the DemandFarm team. Just very grateful to join you guys today and share our experience.
Awesome. So I'll leave you. There are lots of resources for us. If you want to talk to us, obviously there are many ways to reach us. And more importantly, we keep publishing a whole lot of content on our site. You might start with a very interesting CAM assessment quiz, if you may, wherein you can assess your own way. So where are you in your own CAM readiness inside your organization? There are DemandFarm resource centers where we publish a lot of articles, all for free. And then, of course, we have case studies wherein how different types of companies, small to large, have leveraged the tools to make their account management better. So thank you all for your time. Look forward to seeing you in more of our webinars, and then be in touch, and then be safe, and stay safe. Thank you all. Samrat, close.
Thank you everyone. And so as Milind said, we already have a lot of stuff on key account management and practices and everything. So you can also check out our LinkedIn page. We keep posting stuff out there for your benefit, for all the best practices out there, and do keep a tab for our future webinars. Thank you.
All right, bye guys, have a great day.
Take care.
Thank you everyone.
Over again. Bye.
Take care. Bye.